Welcome back to the Crypto Power Hour, the #1 crypto show on Rumble, of course, powered by our friends over at Solana Global, with your hosts, the Crypto Bros, myself, Lance Miliaccio, and my crypto bro, George Ballantine. This is your ultimate deep dive into everything crypto, blockchain, and decentralized finance. And I don't care whether you're a seasoned investor or a newbie just stepping into the world of digital assets for the very first time. We're going to bring you expert insights, top interviews, exciting new projects, breaking news, and game-changing innovation shaping the future of digital finance. Because on this show in crypto, we trust George B. What's up, buddy? 7 a.m. It's crack-a-lack-in here. Early here in Denver, 5 a.m. 7 a.m. back east. What's up, George? How are you, man?
It's Friday. It's the weekend. I'm all right. I'm a little sore from doing some work and stuff, but you know.
Yeah, you've been busy. Your contracting stuff has been busy. Of course, this time of year, it always picks up, you know?
Yep. Busy, but don't want to be doing it.
You know, at the end of the day, you're very good at it. I can understand why people call you. I've seen your work. You do a good job. You've got a lot of skills. So if you're in the New Jersey area and you're looking
don't
do some work, get a hold of George Ballantine. Yes, I'm plugging his business right now. George B., go ahead and hit some info at thebigmig.com if you have some remodel work or maybe you want to flip a house.
You can't afford me.
All right. So here we are. Last show, we covered Ethereum. This show, it's Solana. But before we dig in, you know what I got to do? I got to give a little shout out. You know, we love our crypto. We also love our gold and silver. Guys over at Genesis Gold Group, they've been amazing, great sponsors. And what's this, baby? The 62.2 gram prepper bar, perforated and very easily broken down into your choice of 3 separate denominations to fit a multitude of needs. I don't care whether it's asset protection from inflation, diversification, or economic turmoil. The prepper bar is a perfect gift for everybody out there. There isn't anybody, you don't have to be a prepper to want a prepper bar. It's gold and silver. Who doesn't like gold and silver at these prices? Exclusively mined and minted in the great US of A. They're always selling out fast, but they just got a big restock in. They've got gold and silver on hand, so don't worry about that. You can head over to thebigmigbar.com. Pay attention, pay close. This is where you get your discount. You can use Big Mig Gold. That'll get you 5% off on the gold. Or Big Mig Silver. That'll get you 10% off on the silver. Head over to thebigmigbar.com. Use those promo codes. Pick a few up. They're peace of mind. Have a few in your sock drawer, your underwear drawer, your safety deposit box, maybe your gun safe. That way, just in case the U.S. dollar tanks. I mean, we are $40 trillion in debt. I keep hoping there's a solution. Haven't heard it from the administration yet. Thebigmigbar.com. Or you can call 888-526-7154, 888-526-7154. Thebigmigbar.com.
Break me off a piece of that prepper bar.
Well, George does it again. Great education piece. Solana 2026, Speed Demon or Meme Coin Casino. Very popular there in the meme coin world. We don't do a ton of meme coin stuff on this show because of the very high amount of volatility. But look, proof of history, 2.5 billion plus real world assets on the chain, and why it's currently beating the Ethereum chain on real life usage. So, you know, for the Power Hour crew, you know, welcome back. Here we are, the no hype guide to what's actually, moving crypto in 2026. You know, we unpacked Ethereum on Wednesday. Today's Solana. And of course, Ethereum smart contract revolution was deeply covered. So if you want to know more about Ethereum, if you're thinking about investing and you want to get all the details, go over and watch the rerun, but don't go now. Stay here, right here with the Crypto Power Hour. And of course, you know, we're going to go full throttle on the network. Everyone's searching. It's one of the top searches on X, one of the top searches on Google. When I looked this up, the top 3 searches were Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana and XRP. Those were the top searches on the platform. And it goes on Google too. So we're diving beyond the memes and the tech, of course, that's going to, lets this blazing speed network and why it's become the meme coin capital, how it's quietly building serious institutional muscle with over, that's right, 2.5 B with a B, not a million, billion in real world assets. So we're going to give you 30 minutes of how proof of history makes Solana feel like, the internet, not old school blockchain. Speed versus decentralization trade-off. You know, everyone's debating that. And really why Solana, in my opinion, is winning retail and starting to win big money in 2026. If you've ever asked, is Solana just hype or is it the future? Well, then I think this is the episode for you. Going to give you the clear answer. And don't forget, if you like it, smash that follow button, hit the like, hit the comments, get in the comments, get in the chat. Don't be friggin' shy. And if you like to sponsor the show, you can hit us up over at info@thebigmig.com. We're always looking for, strong concepts, strong projects. We're not a meme coin pump and dump location. So for anybody out there, we wouldn't be interested in that. We're looking for all coins. We're looking for some of the big blockchains, Ripple, Solana, any of the big ones. Of course, that all matters to us. And look, we're going to give you the clear answers here today. So make sure you hit that follow button. You can also follow Solum Global on X. They got big moves coming on. I just had a call with the founder of Solum Global, Kurt St. John's. They've got a lot running and gunning right now. Things are going very well. And of course, you can follow the Big Mig Show, G. Ballantine, and Lance Miliaccio on X. George, let's go through. I think we should start with the basics. I always like to start with the basics. Solana was built for speed from day one.
Oh, for me. All right. Well, look, so, you want to talk about Solana? Just know it's not Ethereum 2.0, baby. It's completely different engine. And Solana launched, I think, in 2020 with one mission: make blockchain fast and cheap enough for everyday use. Let me put up this other graph. I'm going to go differences. We're going to go here. Look at the key takeaways. This is single high performance layer 1 designed for thousands of transactions per second. You got use of proof of history plus proof of stake hybrid. Ooh, I like hybrid. Hybrids can always be good. Sub penny fees and near instant confirmations. It's funny when we say sub penny fees, right? But in the USA, in America, they're slowly phasing out the penny. But it'd be good digitally, though. In 2026, 65,000 theoretical TPS real world sustained thousands, millions of daily active users. Now, here's a simple comparison. We'll go, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. So you have proof. Hold on, Lance. I just want to get this graph off because now we're moving on. Proof of history. Solana's secret weapon for speed. This is actually their core innovation that sets Solana apart. Listen, I'm a big fan of speed, but also I'm an even bigger fan of security. Because no matter what's good if you have the fastest speed, but not so great security? You leave yourself at risk. So we're gonna get into all that. Speed. All right. Let me get another one, Lance. Look, you got all these graphs for me today. Actually, we got a video, right? So POH creates a cryptographic clock that timestamps transactions before they're voted on. Now, validators, I didn't say validators, I said validators today, Lance. I know you're waiting for that one.
We don't need any validators on the show.
Validators don't need to constantly chat and agree on timing, which gives this a big, massive efficiency. Huge. Analogy, like a train schedule that's already printed versus everyone calling each other to decide departure times. What's your result on that? Lightning fast finality and ability to handle massive volume. Now combined with Fire Dancer client, pushing toward real-time settlement. Now I know you have
which is pretty incredible when you think about real-time settlement globally. Real-time settlement globally. Think about that. You don't get that from the current, layer 1, web 1 Swift system, This is serious stuff here. Now, George, the reason I wanted this clip is because I wanted to share the ease of use with the wallet. I grabbed this off of YouTube for you guys because some people say, well, how do I make a transaction? I don't really understand. It seems more difficult than it really is. And I wanted to share this because we've had a lot of questions about that in our chat. And also we've had some people emailing us. So if you want to email us, you can hit us up at info@thebigmig.com. Again, if you want to sponsor the show. So this clip should help you a little bit in understanding kind of how these transactions, how you move money out of a Solana style wallet.
All right, here we go.
In a couple of easy steps, you can cash out your Solana from Phantom Wallet into your bank account. The last step is where people mess up usually, so just watch till the end. So the first thing you need to do is in your Phantom wallet, in your app, if you've got meme coins or anything else that you want to change into Solana first, make sure you go and swap them into Solana first, right? Obviously, once you have the Solana, you then need to ensure you can go into that account there on Phantom Wallet and then click send, right? Now, in parallel, log into your exchange. You're going to need an exchange such as Coinbase, which I'm using here, or say Binance or Kraken, any exchange that connects your bank account to that exchange. Now, in Coinbase here, my bank account is connected to it. And I'll tell you in the last step why that's really important. So, in your exchange, go to Solana. Once you're in Solana, you want to receive crypto. You want to receive Solana here. And in your app, obviously, I've just clicked send Solana. So, I want to then copy this address here and paste it into my app. Another way to do this, I've got the phone in my hand. I should be able to scan this QR code. So once again, I reiterate, there's two ways to do this. You can copy this address, maybe email it to yourself, and then paste it in the app. Alternatively, you can take your phone and scan the QR code that's up on the screen. And I'm going to do that. You can't see me doing it that obviously, but I've just scanned that QR code on the screen. It's now taken that address, that send address. Now I want to send all of my Solana to this particular address that you're seeing in my Coinbase, and click next. Okay, just check the details. Solana is really cheap to send and receive, by the way. It's a 1 cent transaction, and it's now sending. Okay, so that's the first really important step. You can view that transaction if you like on SolScan. Okay, now that that's done, once that's done, you should be able to see in your exchange, when you refresh, the Solana coins have landed. There you go. So it was in US dollars on my app. It's on Australian dollars here. Perfect. I've received that in literally a few seconds. That's the first big step. Now, why did I tell you to make sure that your bank account is connected? This is the important step that most people miss. In exchanges such as Coinbase, to connect your bank account to the platform, you must make a deposit first, even if that's, say, $10. The reason is that deposit acts as you activating your bank account. So if you try and then withdraw cash, see, I'm going to try and withdraw this $25 now to my bank account. If I try and withdraw the cash and my bank account is not connected, it will tell me that I need to deposit cash first so that I can verify my bank account to then be able to withdraw. That's the step most people miss. So you'll have to do that first. If you haven't, you'll have to deposit, even if it's $5, $10. Make sure your bank account is connected. And then you could withdraw an unlimited, well, I assume unlimited amount of cash that you've got in your account. Now first, before I can cash out though, I'll need to sell that Solana, right? So the first thing is, let's sell that. And I want to sell that for cash. So you can see the details here, the total, including the spread, the Coinbase fees, sorry, the total is 25 minus the Coinbase fee, and that's what I'll receive. Okay, so if you're happy with that, let's sell, and selling that will add cash to my Coinbase wallet. Okay, that's done. Now if I refresh that page, you will see I've got no more Solana coins, but I do have cash available in my wallet. And now that final step to withdraw that cash, right? Like I said, if your bank account isn't connected, you cannot cash out. So I'm going to cash out all of that. Continue. So I'll continue that. The cash out fee in this instant is free. that's done, and I've literally just received the notification on my phone about that deposit from Coinbase instantaneously. And there it is, an easy way to cash out your Solana from your Phantom wallet into your bank account. Please yell out if you have any questions or if you're confused about anything along the way.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you got to do that cash deposit. I wanted to put up Phantom, which is one of the wallets most commonly used with Solana. For you guys out there, that's the thing. All over YouTube, on this show, we break it down for you to make it easy, so you don't have to struggle. I know some of this is overwhelming. We've heard it from you guys. We know it's confusing, and we're trying to take that confusion out. So the point is, look around. You'll find this stuff. You can also ask AI a lot of times, how do I cash out of my Phantom wallet? Or how do I cash out of Kraken or Uphold or you name it? It's really easy, and they'll give you the step-by-steps. You don't have to be confused. You don't have to struggle with it. All right, let's talk about this meme coin and real usage explosion, George. Let's talk about what this means.
Oh, you're on me, huh?
Well, I can do it. Not a problem. So you can head over to pump.fun. That's kind of like Meme Coin Central. A lot of people use it. There's some other platforms that are coming out, some new ones. We're going to talk about it on the next show. That are kind of challenging where people are creating their meme coins. And of course, meme coins. And of course, you want to know why Solana is winning in retail in 2026. You're looking at that right there is kind of how it works with the entry queues, how it's issued and hashed, and how it kind of processes through. But Media 5 kind of takes this. So this is, number one would be the transactions, which those for you guys would mean the messages sent by users. And then, you're gonna head into that next layer there. You see that where it's actually a generator. It's the port generator. And you can kind of see how it goes through. And then the ordered output is sent to the replicator nodes, which of course we talk about the nodes and how they validate the transactions. So, and then of course those people come back and they say, yeah, this is a legitimate transaction. No, it's not a legitimate transaction. And those votes are what actually confirm the state and kind of confirm that transaction and how it processes through the network. Because without that validation, the transaction is not going to proceed. Because there's lots of people trying to hack and cheat and create fake ways to try to manipulate and steal crypto from people. Solana is extremely secure. So what you've got is a network that's cheap and fast. You heard about the fees that guy just saw. Since when have you ever heard a bank only charging you $0 free? And the fee when they moved the money over was only a penny. That doesn't happen. When you guys get bank wires, what happens? They just crack us. Or if you want to send money, they crack you again. And that's what they do. It's just high fees, high interest, and low return on your money. But listen, this is cheap and fast is perfect for viral meme launches, right? Most people for the viral memes that duplicate statements, they end up on pump.fun. That's the plan, right? And you're talking about billions in volume and, of course, cultural dominance. The memes, you guys have seen it, Fartcoin and Bonk and Whiff and Pengu and Doge. But it's not just memes. And that's the point. A lot of people think Solana, they go, oh, it's memes. Nope. Massive stablecoin usage. Massive payments and DeFi activity. And the great thing about Solana is the network's been around and it's really been stress tested. So of course it proves the network works under heavy load. They haven't had a problem where it's ever really failed. Maybe in the very, very beginning, but not since. And the upgrades, they've been constantly upgrading the network, right? The chain, and they've also been upgrading, and making sure that they can service and support the big institutional shift in stable coins and, of course, in cryptocurrency. So you've got Fire Dancer and, Alpenglow, and those are basically from meme chain to institutional powerhouse. I like this thumbnail. I grabbed this just because it was fun. Somebody obviously very into meme coins, cracking it out here, looking like it's a demon possessed. They wanted to show the speed. A lot of this has got to do with, and that's image number 6, George. And then, also, you have to look at the big network and what's really there. because there are a lot of different companies that are now deciding that Solana is the spot for them. Fire Dancer, that's a new validator client, and a massive performance and reliability boost. And then you've got Alpenglow upgrade, right? These are the upgrades they've done. Near instant finality, 100 to 150 microseconds. So you think about that, that's sub-second timings for transactional data. And then you've got the real world assets that we've been talking about, and that real world asset growth that's going on all over the place, all over the globe. Over 2.5 billion is tokenized on Solana already in 2026. Now that's a massive number when you compare it to the other chains. So you got stable coins, you get payments. Western Union, another one that's always really overcharged for fees, is experimenting with Solana. Now, can you imagine if all the Western Union business globally comes over to the Solana network? You can imagine with the impact of that. And traditional finance pilots, are accelerating. More and more traditional finance companies are looking at Solana as a legitimate solution. Hopefully they won't try to increase the fees because, of course, that's why everybody loves Solana. So look, you got speed plus culture, you got this growing utility. And for me, that equals what I would consider real power in the DeFi world. It basically proves that the blockchain doesn't have to be slow and expensive to be incredibly useful and widely accepted by the general public. So that proof of history that we talked about earlier is delivering this internet-like speed to powering, the wildest meme coin economy. And it's attracting serious real-world asset money, institutional money. And, I think this network is delivering what I would consider real-world utility. And it's doing it today. That speed is something that, of course, when you're transferring Bitcoin, it never goes like that. You have to think about it. What does that speed mean? I think for everybody out there, it's just, time is money. And, of course, if you're sending money to somebody trying to complete maybe a purchase of real estate and otherwise, why wouldn't you want to use a hyper-speed network instead of maybe a traditional bank that's telling you, oh, yeah, we can have that money over there in 5 days. 5 days, 3 days. This is milliseconds. So I think for this, to me, these are the 5 takeaways that matter. These are the power takeaways. So I think proof of history equals the timestamp innovation that enables blazing speed. Very innovative that proof of history on Solana works like that. Then you take the speed, which George loves, and the low fees and the security, and you're talking about a perfect meme coin platform, a perfect payment platform, and why wouldn't it get mass adoption? Nobody likes the banking fees where they just jack you for money. But of course, the trade-off is that sometimes means different decentralization dynamics. So we've talked about decentralized and how there's so many different chains, and it can be a little confusing. But to have Solana as one of the tools in your arsenal, I think is a very, very smart step. So remember the 2026 upgrades, and you go look these up, are titled Fire Dancer and Alpenglow. And of course, those were big upgrades. The community loved them. They're making the Solana network stronger, more secure, and more reliable. And I think my action steps for you guys, because I think you can listen to us talk. We can sit here and, talk all day about crypto, George and I. But really what you want to be thinking about is what action steps can you take to kind of get a grip on this? So I would set up a phantom wallet. I would try a fast swap, say on maybe Jupiter or somebody else. Maybe explore a layer 1, D app. Or maybe dip into the Solana real world, assets for yield. There's a lot of potential deals on there for lots of high yield investments. So I think this is important. And let's talk about what Solana has been doing, out in the market. So it's been holding, by the way, just for everybody that doesn't know Solana, it's SOL, and it's been holding $89.92. There's lots of support. Some people think there's going to be a breakout now because of the Clarity Act. There's a lot of momentum because of that $2.5 billion in real world assets. And I think that you're talking about a lot of information now. And of course, it's one of the most critical phases on the chart. That chart right there kind of shows you what's going on. You've got kind of this compressed range that often defines, trajectory over the next few weeks. So a lot of people think the fact that it's compressed in its range, that it's not having massive, new lows or reaching out to new highs, that it's kind of compressing where there's a lot of support. A lot of people think there's a breakout imminent. Now, that's not financial advice. Nothing on this show is. You should talk to your own financial advisors. But look, we know about the broader cryptocurrency market. It's put in a decent performance over recent weeks. A lot of the excitement over the Clarity Act passing, that's going to continue to happen. Market capitalization has taken a big jump. It just hits $2.7 trillion across all the projects that are out there. But listen, the technical indicators are flashing signs of buyer exhaustion, so you have to be aware. Still some volatility here. And many people are still asking questions whether the current strength can hold. I think we need to talk about this a little bit further. So you got this narrow range it's trading. You have an upward breakout from a 35-week consolidation channel. But of course that breakout, remains unconfirmed given a near identical false breakout in February. So we saw the same thing in February. Everybody thought it was going to go crazy, and then it didn't really do that because we had so much uncertainty in the regulation area. So there's been approximately 1 billion, a little over 1 billion in cumulative long liquidation leverage, and that seems to be clustered around this 89 to 92 zone. So I think it's structurally significant beyond price alone. And I think it's important. Talk to your cryptocurrency expert and ask if maybe investing in Solana is a good idea. So a lot of people are saying that the move supports a projected 14% move, probably to somewhere in the range of 105. No real breakdown below $89 because all that support it's unlikely that it'll go below that unless there's some massive piece of bad news. But remember, Solana just recorded 138 million in net spot outflows over the past 30 days, and a single day of inflow of 12.5 million. I don't think that offsets the trend yet, but I think this is a big deal. We'll pay attention to it for you and kind of let you know where this is going on. We'll let you know about the momentum. We'll be talking about this. And I think the next show, we're really going to dig in on Ripple and XRP. And then I think we'll do Bitcoin after that. So just so you know, those are where the education pieces are probably going to go. Because again, these are the tokens that everybody really wants to know about. It's the big bull bear crowd. They all want to know, hey, where should I put my money? And I can tell you this, George and I invest in all those cryptos. So I want to make you aware of that. I never want to talk about something if we own it that I haven't made it honest to you guys. So we own all those different cryptos. And of course, that's always the game plan for us is reinvesting, dollar cost averaging, and thinking about the long term, not worrying about short term movement. All right. There's big news on the horizon here, George. Let's talk about Clarity Act. There's been some movement. The markets have reacted to it. You've seen that a lot of the tokens have gone up 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10% in the altcoin market. Let's talk about the U.S. Senate Committee, George.
Yeah, well, we got a little step closer to U.S. Senate Committee and finally advances the crypto bill, the Clarity Act.
Finally.
Which is a big milestone for digital assets. 2 Democrats voted to advance the bill, but they did say that they might not support it on the Senate floor. I mean, just that sentence, just that statement alone is stupid. Why would you vote to advance it out of your committee if you don't want to support it on the Senate floor? Whatever. That's Democrats for you. But we do need bipartisan support. And Trump said he'll back the bill. Hopefully there's, I was trying to look for more information on what's in this bill, and it's not all out there yet. So I mean, look, the industry spent over 120 million supporting pro crypto candidates in 2024. But the American Bankers Association always urging tighter stablecoin rules, lobbying committee Republicans.
Boo.
So I mean,
they don't want you guys to get those high staking rewards. That American Bankers Association. Go into their account on X and tell them they suck.
It's a step in the right direction, but question is, I don't know what's in this bill yet. I couldn't tell you. I've been looking to try to find it. My thing is, if they haven't released what's in it yet, that's bad. That's a bad juju right there.
Exactly. And look, the banking committee, the Republican-led Senate Banking Committee, this was on Thursday. They advanced the long-awaited legislation that would create regulation for cryptocurrencies. I think it's a landmark step, but, the Banking Committee and the American Bankers Association, I think you're right, George. The fact that they haven't told us what's going to happen on staking, real-world asset rewards, they're so worried about that stuff because they just want to keep that stranglehold on you guys, that 30% plus credit card interest and that high mortgage interest and high car loan interest. They just want to keep you guys choked up.
Listen, when this goes to the floor, they're gonna need at least 8 Democrat votes to get this bill passed. You need 60.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean,
Well, I'm surprised that Gallego seems all in.
well, he helped sponsor the bill, I believe, didn't he?
Yeah. I think he did, but there was some hesitation. I saw a statement from him about the banks, wanting to be protected, and I don't want to protect the banks. I think competition is good for the American economy. I think it's good for the public, and I think having low interest rates on borrowed money and high returns on money loaned to these institutions, that's what the real world.
What they're afraid of is upsetting the banking where it'll disrupt our economy, and the economy could see it go down. I mean, stock market could go down. You don't know, because listen, not everybody's into crypto. Not everybody knows about crypto. It's part of the reason why we do what we do here on the show. So there's a lot of unknowns.
Worried about the anti-money laundering provisions, right? Isn't that part of it? That they're kind of concerned that those aren't strong enough. They also want to bar political officials from profiting from crypto ventures, which, I have mixed feelings about that.
Well, they do that. They better do that for stocks too.
The Trump organization and what they've been making. I mean, you tell me, George, are you uneasy about the political officials? Because they're doing it with stocks. I don't understand why the crypto is such a big deal.
So stocks, it's more or less because they can know which way the market's going to do by some law or something. I don't know if so much with crypto will be affected the way, like, insider trading with stock markets. You're more or less, when you have the on Kashi or the other betting, that's where they should.
You got Kalshi and you've got Polymarket.
Polymarket.
There are more prediction market betting, but you're right. There's been some really funky insider trading-ish.
Here's the thing: if you have somebody in Congress or Senate, and they want to, build a portfolio for their retirement, that's where it gets tricky. Like we're gonna fully stop somebody from investing. That's the thing. That's the where it's touch and go. I mean,
well, the president's funds have to be put into a blind trust. Allegedly, the blind trust isn't accessed by the president or his family, and they can't really tell the blind trust how to do investments or what to do. In the case of this,
is that what it is?
Should the senators have all their money in a blind trust? I don't know. I know this. I know that Tim Scott, the Republican Senator Tim Scott, he's the chairman of the banking committee, and he's trying to compromise. But there are parts of this that he's rejecting, including one on stablecoin yield from the Democrats. They want to crush our stablecoin yields, and I think that's not right. And this has taken years. I mean, listen, the crypto industry has done a great job of pushing aggressively. They put their money where their mouth is. They're saying this is critical for the future of U.S. digital assets and necessary to fix core problems for crypto companies. And I agree. How are you going to be the crypto capital of the world if you're going to be pissing around for this long on legislation that makes a lot of sense? And why do they have to always add a bunch of stuff to protect industries? I don't think protectionism is ever a good thing for the economy. I think the fact that the bill is going to define when crypto tokens are securities, commodities or otherwise, gives us a lot of clarity. We're not going to end up in another Gary Gensler situation. But, here's a quote from Scott. He said, "This legislation does not take sides between traditional finance and new technology or Republicans and Democrats." Okay, I don't know if he's right about that, but I appreciate the fact that that's how he's trying to think. And the fact that they spend so much money trying to get people elected, valuable people, I also think that means a lot. And Miller Whitehouse, the CEO of Solana Policy, said it's taken years of work to get to this point. And he's right. And years of them being attacked. The SEC did so much damage. We would have been so much further along in the crypto economy if it hadn't been for the SEC and Gensler.
Look, Senator Warren, she's the top Democrat in the banking committee. And her big concern is that the markup that the bill was too friendly to crypto companies.
Uh-oh.
Well, what about all the bills that are too friendly to the bankers?
What he said.
I mean, I don't hear you say anything about that. I don't hear you doing anything about that, Senator Warren.
And listen to this last ditch effort, right, by the banking cartel, right? The American Bankers Association on Sunday publicly called for its members and CEOs to push committee senators to tighten the stablecoin language. Let me translate that for the audience. To screw the public so we can't get those really good high reward staking benefits. That's what they're trying to say in gobbledygook speak. But look,
Lance, if
Trump has done a lot to move this forward. I'll give him credit, but of course that's self-serving because he's made a shitload of money in the crypto market. That's for sure.
If they mess with the staking, they took a lot of that away, and then the bill gets passed and goes into law, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
I mean, as an American, we can always just get an address in, I don't know, Costa Rica, Cuba, somewhere. Do my crypto from there. Where you
might want to use a VPN and say, screw the bankers, I'm getting those rewards.
But, though, a VPN might not be good enough because you might have to show proof of address and stuff when you
probably some companies that'll rise to that game. But look, if we want to be the crypto capital of the world, you've got Dubai, you've got Singapore. They're all, not doing this kind of legislation. They're not trying to restrict the opportunities in the blockchain world. Sure, we want to be protected. Sure, we don't want insider trading. But at the end of the day, we don't want, piddly ass bank style rewards. That's one of the biggest appeals in this market.
The big question is, will the Clarity Act get passed before summer break? You only got...
man, I don't know. I wouldn't want to bet on Polymarket on that one.
You got less than a week. I mean, I don't know. Today's 14th.
I'm so sick of all the breaks. Can Congress get any more time off? These freaking guys barely do their job as it is. I don't think summer break, spring break, winter break.
Well, they get so they can go campaign.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, at least they did something right this week. One of the big things, they confirmed Kevin Warsh as the Fed chairman, and 54 to 45 vote, it's done. He is the new Fed chair. And he's
pro crypto.
I was just going to say that. I got tongue tied. Pro crypto.
Yeah.
So, but we got a pro crypto Fed chair. But you think we get some legislation passed too this month? I mean, geez, can we get a little good? Would it be a trifecta? Maybe.
I got to give a little shout out to John Fetterman. He crossed the aisle, even with all the pressure not to, and voted with the Republicans to confirm Warsh. I got to tell you, Fetterman has really been kind of a breath of fresh air. He surprised me in so many ways.
He's an undercover Republican. Shh.
Shh. And no kidding. Say that. No, can we cut production? Cut that.
They're gonna when he's up for re-election. I mean, he's gonna get hit primaried hard by Democrats.
Oh my God, yeah. They're not happy they can't control him. He's kind of he's not a loose cannon. He votes for the American public, which is what he's supposed to do. He's not supposed to vote for the banking cartels. He's supposed to protect the country and its people. So hats off to everybody. Warsh, I'm very happy about that. It's a change. Hopefully he'll live up to the hype. It looks like he will, but we'll keep our fingers crossed. We'll keep an eye on it. Now listen, you guys know the drill. If you love this show, first of all, leave us a comment. We need those comments. It's all part of the algo, the new algos that are coming on to Rumble. Take the short form, take the long form, share it far and wide with your friends and family. Follow G Ballantine on X. Follow Solum Global on X. Get over there. We have a community over at Solon Global. Join that community. Join the Crypto Power Hour on X. You want to find out about shows and interviews coming up. And, of course, follow Lance Miliaccio on X. Long name, but you can look it up if you have to. And hit the follow button over here. We're also on. We're back on YouTube. So take a minute after the show. Go over to YouTube. Find the Crypto Power Hour. Give it a follow. Write a subscribe. And then do the same thing for the Big Mink Show over there. We're trying to rebuild. They didn't give us back our original accounts, but they let us reopen, so we're giving it a shot. And also find us on Locals. If you're on Locals, go over there and check it out. Be part of it. You know what? In crypto, we trust. We're out of time for today. We will see you guys next Wednesday at 7 a.m. George B., what's the last words of wisdom for our...
Well, it's Friday, so hopefully we'll see you at 11 a.m. for the Big Mink Show. If not, you all have a blessed weekend. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Enjoy your time off of work, whatever.
And Doc Schwartz is joining us, right?
Yes, he is. Memorial Day weekend's coming up soon, so...
Yep.
See you
a
at
fun
11.
show. Dr. Mike Schwartz.
Later, Gators.
Are you ready to stand up for your community and support your local sheriff? Join the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association and become a vital member of the Sheriff's Citizens Posse. At CSPOA.org, we empower citizens like you through weekly webinars, arming you with the knowledge to back your constitutional county sheriff. Together, we can uphold our Constitution and ensure liberty and justice for all. Your community needs you now more than ever. Visit CSPOA.org and join the Sheriff's Citizens Posse today. Make a difference. Stand for freedom. That's CSPOA.org. Your country, your fight, your future.
What if you could predict your financial future? And what if you could trade on it? Introducing Block Trust IRA, the future in your hands. An astonishing 88,000 millionaires were created last year from the Bitcoin boom, and you could be next. Block Trust IRA is the only crypto management firm powered by AI-driven strategies, ranked #1 in the world by Bitcoin Magazine. The Block Trust IRA platform is built for everyone, from first-time buyers to seasoned investors. Predictive AI technology that was once only reserved for insiders and elites is now available to you. It's time to leave the old buy and hold strategies behind. Your assets are protected with military-grade security, offline cold storage, and $200 million in insurance. Visit BlockTrustIRA.com to book your free consultation and ask how to claim up to $2,500 in deposit bonuses today. Bitcoin changed the game. AI changes the strategy.
Hi folks, I'm here today to introduce you to the Prepper Bar from PrepperBar.com, the most unique precious metals product we have seen in a long time. These 62-gram bars are perforated and easily broken down into your choice of 3 different sizes to fit a multitude of needs. Whether it be from asset protection from inflation, economic turmoil, or its unique utility for barter and trade, the Prepper Bar makes a perfect gift for all the precious metal lovers out there. Exclusively made here in the USA and selling out fast. Available in both gold and silver, these slim Prepper Bars fit neatly in your wallet, and their utility enables use in any situation.
Forged through rigorous training and honed by the finest instructors on Earth, these canine units serve beside our nation's warriors as they fight to preserve what we cherish. When these warriors complete their duty, the Warrior Dog Foundation provides them with a home deserving of the service they've given us all. At our state-of-the-art kennels, they receive rehabilitation and care suitable for heroes, because that's what they are. Be a part of giving them a future today. Visit WarriorDogFoundation.org.